The militant group Balochistan Liberation Army has claimed taking control of a passenger train and have kept hundreds of passengers hostage. They have, in fact, released a statement saying that 6 Pakistani military personnel have reportedly been killed. According to the reports, the Jafar Express, with over 400 passengers on board with 9 bogies, was on its way from Quetta in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan province to Peshawar in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa when it was fired upon. The BLA fighters blew the railway tracks and forced the train to stop, after which they boarded the train, while the militant group is claiming to have left Baloch women, children and other civilians. It is still reportedly holding on active service personnel from Pakistani military, police, ATF and even the spy agency ISI. In a statement signed by its spokesperson, Zainat Baloch, the BLA has said hostages will be killed if Pakistan launches any operation to rescue them. My colleague Vishnu Shom now joins us with more details on this. Vishnu, what's the latest, any official, in fact, confirmation coming in from the Pakistani government in this matter?
Well, I think you've pretty much summarized what the latest situation is, Ankit, at this stage. What I can tell you is that in terms of the number of people who remain potential hostages on this train, the Jafar Express, which was it was bound for Peshawar from Quetta, the numbers vary from 120 to 500. There are some reports which suggest that there has been a Pakistan Army counteraction, which has been repelled apparently by the hostages, who claim that 10 Pakistani soldiers have been killed. Now remember, information from these areas extremely sketchy. We'll need to wait to see what the Pakistani government actually says at the highest levels. But irrespective of this, if you've got a situation where a large train has been hijacked with so many people who have been kidnapped, who are being held hostages at this stage, it is a matter of huge crisis. Now, this said, this would be the latest attack that has taken place in Baloch areas. The Baloch Liberation Army, which has been fighting for independence in that area because of what they say has been marginalization by the government of Pakistan, the creation of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, among other reasons. They have been involved in several attacks. There have been attacks on coal mines, there have been attacks on the Pakistan Army. Repeatedly, hundreds of people have lost their lives. But in this particular case, there would be innocent people, civilians, women and children who are potentially hostage as well. So we would hope that there is a release sooner than later.
Right. So Vishnu Shom, in fact, giving us that information coming in from Pakistan. Vishnu, very quickly, for the benefit of our viewers, could you also just tell us the BLA, Pakistan designates it as a terror organization, a militant group, from how long have they been active? Because they have also taken part in other terror attacks in Pakistani soil.
Well, I did explain just now that there have been several attacks which have taken place in the Baloch area. The Baloch Liberation Army has been blamed for a large number of them. Hundreds of Pakistani soldiers have been killed. The Balochistan region is particularly restive. There have been problems in Balochistan for several decades. As I mentioned, it is an issue of marginalization. It is an issue of who controls the economic resources. There are concerns about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as well. The Baloch Liberation Army has emerged as a force of independence, but there have been frequent clashes with the Pakistani armed forces. These attacks have been stepped up significantly in the last 5 years or so, but very often, as we have seen, and on this case as well, there are innocents who are caught in between. Those hostages on this train, the numbers are between 120 to 500. Many of them would possibly be women and children.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishnu Shom, for joining us. In fact, the statement, at least from the Balochistan Liberation Army, says that all women and children have been released. Only active army and security forces personnel are at this moment taken hostage by them. Moving on, Saeed Ilahi is a former minister in Pakistan. He's joining us at this moment. So thank you for speaking to us. Let me, in fact, first ask you, sir, that all right, let's just try and understand at this moment what is happening as far as this entire attack is concerned. What is the official position from the government? Is there an operation which has been launched to try and rescue the hostages?
First of all, as you have mentioned in your program, this is a typical incident of terrorism where the innocent people were taken hostage, and a human shield was formed against any action from the armed forces. So BLA is a terrorist organization, even declared by Americans, EU, and different other organizations and countries. So BLA is basically based in different areas like Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan border. So as the area in Balochistan is very tough area, hilly and mountain area, huge area. So they have places to hide and attack, because guerrilla warfare is, is more easier than a regular war. So that's how the BLA is operating from last many years. And government of Pakistan and armed forces are trying to face them and fix them. Even in this incident, as you told, was an incident of cowardice. I mean, like hostages and children and women and passengers and so on. But I think government of Pakistan has decided to take a strict action, and there will be no leniency shown to terrorists, although they have support across the border, but they will have to be eliminated. And especially, I think now the time has come for government of Pakistan to start an operation which was being held in Balochistan, and there was only repulsion or even reaction on the attacks. But I think now it is a time to start an action to eliminate those terrorists.
Right. Can I ask you, these actions have been going on for a very long time. There is also a sense that all this is happening because of the marginalization and the way the Baluchi people have been treated, by the security forces and the government of Pakistan. Is there a sense that, this is only going to escalate the violence in this area? This is not the first attack. They have repeatedly targeted security forces in Pakistan.
In fact, this is not true that they are being marginalized, because, the Balochistan province is full of different minerals and treasures. So the local sardars, local people who have monopoly and hold on the resources and the area, and people are illiterate. There were 3 operations conducted in Balochistan. First was in Mr. Bhutto's time, but when Mr. Zia came, he released all the Nawabs and Jagirdars and the Sardars and the chiefs, who again came into the areas. And second operation was taken in General Musharraf's time. So no operation was completed because of different political reasons and political dialogue. But I think the main reason is that Balochistan is a huge area, underdeveloped, illiterate, controlled by the chiefs and tribes.
But
so
whose responsibility was it, if you allow me to ask, to develop that? Because that is one of the charge against the Pakistani government, that a lot of resources are pulled in from Balochistan, but the people of Balochistan do not derive the similar benefit that mainland Pakistanis do.
That's also an issue, because the funds and the development amounts are given to the chiefs. Because in Balochistan, because of the tribal system, the budget is allocated and is given to the chiefs for development, which they don't do. And either they make corruption, or they don't. It doesn't have a trickle-down effect to a normal person. So the system is a tribal system where these difficulties and problems are existing, and the chiefs and the sardars who are, getting benefit of having budget and also supporting BLA for their own benefits.
Let me ask you this then. At this moment, what we know is that security personnel, those who are on leave, have been taken hostage as far as this operation of BLA is concerned. More than 100 is the number which they are quoting. Is there going to be a deal with the Pakistani government on this?
I think there is, in the past and even now, there will be no deal with the terrorists, not at all. And they have to be eliminated. They will be eliminated, because the same way we are retaliating on the Afghan border, where all terrorist organizations of the world, ISIS, Daesh, all are based in Afghanistan, and Pakistan is the only country who is facing terrorism and trying to control them and hold them so they do not spread all over the world.
But the view of a lot of people also would be, and let me also bring in Harsh Pant, Vice President ORF, who's joining us at this moment. Harsh, yes, there is it's a difficult time for people, those who have been taken hostage, but the fact also remains that while the former minister says that Pakistan is facing terrorism, Pakistan has been accused of being a safe sanctuary and a state which harbors terrorism. time and again for various countries. India is also a victim of that. Is there now a sense that, Pakistan, the kind of nurturing and the environment that was given to these extremist elements is biting Pakistan on its back?
See, certainly, I think Pakistan's friends and Pakistan's well-wishers and even Pakistan's adversaries have often said that, look, if you use terrorism as an instrument of state policy, then it will come back and bite you. And I think, in some ways, if you look around Pakistan today, there is an enormous challenge. And that challenge has to be now dealt with by Pakistanis themselves, because it is, I mean, of course, what the minister is saying, is right, that the brunt will be borne by ordinary Pakistanis. And this is going to be, of course, a challenge for Pakistan and for the region. So certainly the policy that used to be Pakistan's state policy of using terrorism against other states has backfired in ways that is now coming back to haunt ordinary Pakistanis in ways that are quite unprecedented. And quite, I think, it has the potential to destabilize not only Pakistan, but the entire region. So certainly, I think the world will be looking very carefully and is looking very carefully at what's happening and how Pakistani state deals with it.
Mr. Elahi, let me ask you this on this very note, sir, because, just last week, the World Terror Index report came out, and Pakistan continuously remains at number 2 for the last 5 years, just behind Burkina Faso, as the kind of terror activities which are taking place in Pakistan. TTP has emerged as the fastest growing terror group. Is there a worry within the Pakistani society as well that, these kind of groups who found safe harbor in Pakistan at one point of time, in fact, it has become a problem for Pakistan to deal with?
I think I would like to correct you, because all these terrorist groups are never based in Pakistan. They're always based in Afghanistan and Iran border. They have never been based in Pakistan. So whenever they are in Pakistan, they are hit and killed, and they are smashed. That's why even now, from last many months, Pakistani army and forces are fighting against terrorists on Afghan border, and they are not being allowed to enter into Pakistan. And another thing I want to tell you, my friend, that even in Balochistan, the whole terrorism network was developed by a raw officer who is still in jail in Pakistan, Mr. Kalboshan. So they had 400 or 500 people arrested with him. So these are, Pakistan is a victim. And if you say that we have centuries, that was wrong. Because we have already and always been fighting against terrorism.
Just the Indian government accusing Pakistan of very well documented fact, not only from India but across the globe, including USA and in the United Nations as well, where groups like TTP, LET, all of them have found their base in Pakistan. The problem is that Pakistan's, entire modus, the military, complex of Pakistan using terrorism as a state policy, that now seems to have been completely exploding in Pakistan's face, and possibly a rework in its policies need to be seen if Pakistan wants peace within its own border. But I thank you for joining me at this moment. Thanks also to Harsh for being with us at this moment.